Hey, what's going on? I'm here. I'm making this film just for me, for personal reference, but I'm also making it for, like, you know, I'm a truck driver, and I've been driving for a long time, but I just recently started driving again about a year ago, and it's a really, really unhealthy lifestyle. You know, just with the truck food and just, you know, the hours sitting down and everything. So I'm just gonna put this video out there. I'm gonna try to make one every week, and just like show you guys stuff that you could do on the road. You know, a big part of it is the eating part. Trust me, you know, my wife is on the road with me, and you know, sometimes it's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. You don't have time to stop and grab something healthy to eat. But you know, the truck stops, they do have like fruit and stuff like that. And you know, you got to start making healthy decisions. You know, healthy choices. You know, because like I said, it's really easy to gain weight, man. I gained 60 pounds in 1 year, and I can feel it, so it's not feeling well. So there's some stuff here that I have, you know, regular things that you could get at a Sports Authority or at any website, which they're pretty good stuff, you know, and you can start off really lightly. I'll show you like what I do here. Like, I just started working out today. I've only been working out for like half an hour, and I'm completely exhausted, but you could take your time doing things, you know. You don't have to rush into it, you know. You can walk around, push-ups, stuff like just regular stuff like that. But what I got here is just a regular band, and with these, this is really easy to use. You can just put it on your truck, and you know, there's a lot of exercises you can do with these. You know, you can work your back, which you can do them like this. You know, you can work your obliques on the side. You can go from side to side. You know, this is really good. It's small. It doesn't occupy a lot of space, so it's really good to keep in the truck. And every time, you know, I'll show you guys, I'm going to do a circuit, you know, when I'm done explaining everything, just to show you guys, like, what I usually do, you know. You warm up, you know, this is one thing I know a lot of truck drivers lack of, is water. You know, I don't want to be stopping every 15 minutes either, but, you know, better water than soda, you know, which I love. So, you know, that's one thing we could, you know, do without. I have this over here also, which is called a kettlebell. You know, this is a little heavy right here. This is like 45 pounds, but you can get a smaller one, and I'll show you a couple exercises to do with that also. You know, but this is really, you know, like I said, it's small. You can carry it around in the truck, and you know, it works out pretty good for the stuff I'm going to show you what to do with them. We got a regular jump rope. You know, like I said, you can pick these up on Sports Authority. You can go online. I got all my stuff from a company named Onnit. It's ONNIT. You know, they got some good stuff there. You know, and they get there fast. Like, if you have only a couple of days home time, which is pretty cool, you know, they can be there in 24 hours and you know, deliver all your stuff. And then I got this wheel here, which I have really no business having because it's an ab wheel, and I don't have no abs, but you know, we could work with this too. You know, so I'm gonna do one regular circuit to show you guys like what I do here at the truck stop. There's always time to work out, guys. You know, there's always time. You know, you have if you work a 14-hour day, you know, some days you're tired than others, but there is no reason why. You know, we sit in the truck 10 hours out of the day. You know, sometimes we have, like, you know, we have to wait for a load. We have to wait for dispatch to call us. There's always time to work out, man. There's always time. Even if you do 15 minutes, you know, it's better. Because, you know, I see, you know, myself, you know, it's just like I said, it's a really unhealthy lifestyle. So, like I said, I'm just making these films so I can show you guys that there is always time. You know, we're in beautiful South Carolina today. It's a beautiful day out, you know. So I'm going to show you guys what I do, you know, and I hope you enjoy the video. And I'll see you guys, like I said, I'm going to try to post one up every week. But if I can't, then I can't. You know, we get busy out here. I'll show you guys what to do, you know. Make sure you stretch, all right? So what I usually do with these kettlebells, I do kettlebell swings. So, you know, you know, what I suggest you do, go and get a video and start off very light. 20 pounds is good, you know. So I do kettlebell swings. You could do, it's not like lifting regular weights. Use your whole body for this. So what you want to do is you do sets of 8, you know, like I said, you know, start off very light with these. Because you can hurt your back really bad. You know, you don't want to get hurt out here. You know, because we're out here to make money. So once I'm done with that, I come here, I grab the band, work on my back. Try to do 10 with these. I turn around, do like regular punches. You know, you don't have to be a professional boxer to throw regular punches. When I do, I like to count to 20. And trust me, you know, just take your time. You know, if you can get one good thing out of this video, then you know I'm happy. If you don't, go fuck yourself. But otherwise, you know, it's all for us. I'm doing this for everybody who drives, you know. From here, I come here. What you can do is regular push-ups, you know, but like, you know, I have a little, you know, a background in, like, you know, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai. So I like to keep, you know, incorporating some of the stuff. And there's, you know, so I like to do like burpees, which mimic like a sprawl. So, you know, you regular ones like this. And like I said, I'm doing sets of 8 for everything. Then this is the final right here. Well, not the final, but I come here. Jumping rope is, it's a little tricky, but you'll get used to it. I don't have a stop clock or anything. So I like to just count to 30 in my head. Or you do 30 reps. So about 30 there. And for the final exercise, the half wheel. Every week I'm gonna put like new exercises, but like I said, you could do jumping jacks, which are good, you know, get your heart rate going. If you do 15 minutes, 10 minutes, you know, it's all worth it. You know, I got a good friend of mine, training partner, Armando, you know, he's back in West Palm Beach, and kind of motivated me a little bit to start working out here, you know, and I like to thank him for that. But there's always time to work out. Always time. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I just did that circuit, and I'm completely out of breath right now. But like I said, you know, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and every week I'll show you, you know, new exercises you can incorporate. You know, have a blessed day, guys. Thank you.